Let's get into our next discussion now. These are not the best of times for Nigeria's eccentric senator representing Kogi West, Dino Melaye. On June the 2nd, Melaye's constituents stormed the office of Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in Lokoja to pick forms to commence the process of recalling Senator Melaye from the National Assembly.
It's on record that no Nigerian lawmaker has ever been recalled since 1999. Political correspondent Ayodele Ozukpakon looks at the prospect of resuscitating Senator Melaye from rusticating him from the Senate and the legal requirements needed for such.
The 1999 Constitution gives citizens the power to remove elected officials before the expiration of their term. A lawmaker can be removed if his constituents feel he is not acting in the interest of his political party. The provisions of Section 69 and Section 110, Chapter 5 of the 1999 Constitution applies only to members of the Senate, House of Representatives, and the State Houses of Assembly. It acts as a disciplinary measure for elected officials and provides citizens the opportunity to make democratic decisions about such elected officials. The recent attempt to recall Senator Dino Melaye, who represents Kogi West Senatorial District, will put to test the provisions to recall. What are the hurdles required in Section 69?
If, after cross-checking, and it is discovered that the people that made a recall, that made their petition, their names are in the voters' register, and at the same time, is more than half of the population that is expected, of the electorate, then INEC will go into referendum. That is Section B of Section 69. Section 69 of the 1999 Constitution, 69B. It will now go into referendum.
Lawyers describe the process of recall as both political and legal, and recall that fruitless efforts were made in the past to recall some lawmakers.
It's both political and legal. Because legal in the sense that the provision of the Constitution actually make it possible for the process to be commenced.
Also be that referendum, even in that area, saying that they want that person recalled. Why it has not happened is that perhaps it's based on relative ignorance. A lot of people did not know.
Some Nigerians have condemned the conduct of the lawmaker in the upper legislative chambers.
As a constituents, we are tired of all this embarrassment. Lot of things he is doing, becoming an arrogant in the state, whereas if he's having any personal issue with anybody, he should go and sort with that person.
And that will be the best victory for democracy if they recall that senator from Kogi. That guy has made mockery of the Senate, he's made mockery of politicians, he's made mockery, global mockery of Nigerians.
Will this process sail through? All attention will now be on INEC as it carries on with the business of validating the process. Ayodele Ozukpakon, TVC News, Lagos.
All right, though Senator Dino Melaye initially made mockery of the move, but that has gained momentum as his constituents say they have gathered 188,000 signatures out of the 360,000 registered voters in Kogi West, representing 52% required for his removal, a procedure backed by Section 69 of the Constitution of Nigeria.
But Senator Melaye says the signature allegedly collected to influence his recall were forged, even contained signatures of dead people. He also faulted the number of signatures INEC says it has collated so far, stating that the total vote counts, both valid and invalid, in the last 2015 senatorial election was merely 111,000 for all the candidates that participated. INEC has set July the 3rd for the public verification of the signatures after notifying the senator of the official commencement of the recall exercise.
Now, the commission is insisting that it will go ahead with the process despite the fact that the senator has filed a lawsuit at the Federal High Court in Abuja seeking a court injunction to halt his recall from the Senate. Right. Well, it is getting more interesting in the House. We have a constitutional lawyer, Olanrewaju Ajanaku, in the studio. Good morning. Larry, it's good to have you join us right now.
It's good to be here.
Now, we've been watching, I know you've been watching this, and it's very, very interesting. But let us take it from this perspective. In the reports we read earlier on, the total number of people who participated in the 2015 election were about 111,000. Keeping the issue of the eye of the law and the ideals apart, how realistic is it to get about 188,000 votes in this kind of situation?
Signatures.
Signatures, sorry.
Well,
yes.
Well, I want simply to say that our able senator got it wrong. The law did not say people who participated, but said people who have registered in that constituency. So why would you come up, even 111,000 voted or not, doesn't matter. Okay. But people who are the electorates in that area, in that constituent, who have actually registered. And
recognized by INEC.
By INEC.
Okay.
Who have their names on the register of INEC. Okay. Whether they voted or not doesn't matter.
Okay.
Now that the issue has come up, if they now want to exercise the right that they have of recall, so be it. Whether they participated that time or not does not matter anymore. Okay. But they are interested in the recall of this fellow and have signed the petition to bring him back home. What offense have they committed? Okay. They are exercising the constitutional right that they have of recall.
All right. But this recall exercise, this is not the first time it is being touted or assumed to have happened in Nigeria. Yes. There has been cases in Plateau State and I think Adamawa and things like that. But those recall orders were quashed by some kind of injunctions, and that's what Dino is trying to do now. Do you see that happening in this case?
I don't see it. This emerging politics of today and the judiciary, I would say both are now very vibrant. I will say this to you. Are you saying that the constitutional provision cannot be exercised? The injunction he's seeking will be perhaps on the basis of fraud. But one thing that must be proved is that to prove fraud or forgery in any form, it is a difficult task. You must bring forensic analysis to show that this person actually forged a particular signature, and he's saying there were a series of signatures that were forged and a series of names that were dead. Has he been handed over, or when I say, let me just ask this rhetorical question, does Senator Dino Melaye now have the list of the 188,000 people who signed? Has he compared the signature on the petition or signatures on the petition with any other signature of those people on the list to confirm or otherwise know that, in fact, this person's signature, this one is different.
According to INEC's guideline, the senator or whoever is meant to receive notification for the recall, stating that he has received a petition for his recall or recall if the petition is valid. Is it possible that the notification they gave him included the signatures? Is it possible?
Oh, the signatures must be there.
Okay.
You see, INEC will receive the petition. The petition, what do you want me to come and answer if you don't show me a petition that has been written against me?
So let's agree that Dino has those signatures right now.
Constructive or otherwise, he has the notice of the... Where will he say that those signatures were false?
Okay.
If he must have seen them.
He must have seen it.
Okay.
So one thing is basic. Once a petition is written to INEC to commence the process of recall, INEC will in turn inform him in writing and enclose a copy of the petition written.
Isn't it done on the basis of that he's now coming up with an injunction, say, okay, based on what I have in front of me, some of these signatures are forged, some of these names, according to him, there are some even particular names of a dead governorship aspirant in Kogi State, Obadofin, who died, that his name was also part of that list.
According to Melaye.
According to Melaye. That's what
I have not seen. According
to Melaye.
But then that has to be proved. For him to be able to get an injunction, you see, there must be some evidence very cogent and compelling for the court to be able to act on. If those ones are not there, I don't think the court will act on it. But basically, if he's saying that, or he said someone particularly died. The person who died, could there not be another person who bears such names? The names of the person that person particularly bore when he, in quote, was alive? You understand? So you need to get the particular, that's why he needs to particularize all those things that he is talking about. The name of the person, his address, the signature that he used to know, that is not different from the signature that he is seeing now. And then put those ones forward and go to court to say, look, these ones should vitiate the recall process. But mind you, one thing that the court will also look at is this. Out of 188, which forms about 52% of what we are talking about, right? You now have, say, about 8,000 or 2,000.
That could be voided.
That could be voided. Would that 2,000 mitigate against his recall? I say no. Because what is required is where you have 360,000 registered voters, registered people, you now have half of that. If you have, just divide that into 2 and have +1, just +1, the process of recall will start. Just +1.
Yeah, but you just said now, in the case where out of this 188,000, something happened and it is discovered that some people were actually didn't do that out of their own volition, on one hand, and just painting a scenario, or a situation where actually some of those persons have died and those votes are removed.
Yes.
Wouldn't that, what if it reduces the number of the 88,000? What is the implication of that scenario?
Divide 360 by 2, it will give you about 180.
Yeah.
So if you still have 180, remove 7,999. If you have 160,000 plus 1, or 180,000 plus 1, making 181,000, you still go ahead to recall, because that's a provision. So plus 1.
I'm not sure you've subtracted the 89,000 from the one.
That's just the mathematics, but we understand.
I only want to,
we understand.
I'm bringing it, boiling down to the very simple terms for us to be able to understand. Remove 8,000 or remove 7,999. You still have 180,000.
Simple majority
plus 1.
Simple majority by just one alone.
And then
okay. Now that he has gone to court. Even he has even hired a very vibrant lawyer to handle this issue.
As a choice of words.
Yep. Okay. That's my opinion. But the point there is, how more complicated will this issue become when it is being dragged to court, when the court injunction is involved?
Oh, you are talking as if the injunction will be granted.
No, I'm just saying, because we know that if a court, I'm not trying to preempt that anyway, but someone goes to court.
Don't let us say anything that will subjudice the matter in court. But then, one thing is basic. If an injunction is granted, the injunction will be granted for only 7 days. It's not perpetual. No. It's interlocutory. Interlocutory injunction will only be for 7 days, renewable for another 7 days. Yeah. Within the 7 days or the 14 days in total, an aggrieved party, a member or a petitioner, someone who has his signature on that petition, can go to court. You have a local standard. If you have your name there and you have your signature there and you are from that Kogi West Senatorial District, you can go to court to say you want the injunction vacated. You understand? Because it's going to be interesting. But right now, what has been done is just that I have seen is that only INEC has been sued. And mind you, if you want something like this to really go on, all the parties that are necessary parties, people who are on the list are necessary parties. Perhaps you need, well, not even perhaps, you need to put them on notice. If you get an injunction ex parte, interlocutory injunction ex parte, the court will order you to put all those people on notice. The court wants to hear their reaction to the injunction application you have brought before the court. If the court sees no reason to grant your injunction, the court will decline. But if there is good reason to hope the injunction for the period I mentioned, well, yes, the injunction will be granted for those other people to react to your application. Then the court will now, upon arguments, the court will decide one way or the other.
We're looking at the process now. It seemed like a lengthy process, really, because after this, even when the verification is done, the referendum and all that will be done in all the district required simultaneously really in all the districts required. Tell me, who is going to pay for this, INEC or the constituents?
It's INEC.
Oh, okay.
That's the business of INEC, not the constituents, not the people in that particular constituency. No, it's INEC.
Okay.
One of the things INEC must do is that.
All right.
Okay.
So one of the guidelines also has to say the basis really for the recall is for maybe a lack of confidence. If you've lost confidence in the candidate, for lack of performance. Is that the case here? Some other people will say he's one of the most vibrant senators in the House. Is that the case?
You see, we see things from different perspectives.
Yes.
Well, those people who have seen it as, well, yes, is the most vibrant in the House, they have a right to their opinion. Like my brother here also stated something, and he has a right to his own opinion too. But then, what the Constitution envisages and has stated in Section 69 is that when there is a lack of confidence in the senator representing that district, yes, they can take up issues of, pertaining to his or her recall from the House, either House of Assembly, the National Assembly or the House of Representatives. They can do that. But then, I'm not from Kogi West.
I'm from Kogi West.
Oh, good. Now, the people there are saying, look, we have not seen one particular constituency project that this man has brought up in our district, in the senatorial district. He goes to the House of Assembly, he talks. We are not seeing any effects. They are not feeling it. What's the impact of just talking and talking?
They even talk about the fact that he has not
been vibrant.
Yeah. Who is not feeling it? Is it the people
of the senatorial district where he is coming from?
Yeah, because they say he has never conducted any town hall meeting. Yeah. He doesn't even have a constituency office.
Exactly. Yeah. There ought to be regular town hall meetings where the members of that constituent will be able to table what they need to him. And it is for him to now canvass the needs of his people in the National Assembly. He has not done that. All he comes to do in Kogi is just come with fanfare, go around the town and all that, cause commotion, and then go back.
You're not from there. How do you know that?
You mustn't be from there before you...
The media for that, we have seen. And this is not a matter of you doing any photoshopping. We have seen real action. We've seen, even the last time he said he went there, these people say, we don't want you. And what he's trying to do is just to ensure that he becomes relevant in a place that they say they don't want him. You understand? What do you want to happen there? Chaos.
All right. Now, on the INEC has fixed time, date, and place for the verification.
Yes.
Is it necessary or required that Dino Melaye's agents have to be there to also go through the verification process?
What is fair is for him, for fair hearing, fair trial, and all that. It is necessary if they so require and right that they want to be there when verification is being done, so be it. INEC will allow them to be there. Okay. And the agents or representatives of these petitioners will also be there. And all these things will be done.
So if this recall goes through, what will happen if he leaves? Who will they call the person who came second to take over the post, or another fresh election?
You see, what? The way I...
Or smarter DME of the PDP.
Oh, well, what will happen? No, the land is now in APC.
Okay.
What will happen?
Well, he contested against him at the time.
Ordinarily, it ought to be the second person who got the highest votes at that time. It could be APC, it could be PDP, it could be APGA, it could be anybody. But whoever got the highest votes. But I'm trying to look at what happened when, is it the same Kogi governor came in? Which one was Adeleke?
Exactly. James Faleke.
The same,
and it's the same Kogi state.
Perhaps if that does not go into the same way that Bello and Faleke went, then there must be a referendum where a person of that choice would now be. It will be a point of kind of selection. Because
so we don't have a precedence in our law concerning that. So this may just be
the test case.
Okay.
No. So let's see how it turns out.
Wow. Okay. But finally now, before we go, there are the legal issues of things.
Okay.
We know that there will be the political side of things. Is it possible, from what we hear, is that Dino Melaye and the governor, Yaya Bello, have been having issues and all of that. Is it likely I'm just trying to create a political scenario where Dino Melaye, an intervention, you know, reconciliation is brought
between the two gladiators,
and then the whole process is scuttled.
The franchise, I don't see it happening soon. You see, Dino Melaye, the kind of person he is, would not succumb, would not want to sit with the present Governor Bello. And Bello, soft-spoken, gentle, amiable in nature, would also, you don't know the inside of him, the way I see him, would not want to also sit with Dino. Now, he has accused the governor of not paying salaries for 15 months, which is a fact. It is a fact.
Good.
Both a true story and a statement of fact. Now, he will see him bringing him to the fore to ridicule before the people. Dino ought to have, that's why you are a senator, that's why you are in the House of Assembly. Liaise with this man. Why are you having problems paying them and not bring it to the fore, to the generality of the people to begin to accuse him? You have not paid people for 15 months. Why have you not paid? You got bail funds and all that. Exactly. Right. That's why it is like this.
Okay. Olaniwa Jojanaku, constitutional lawyer, thank you very much for coming on.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Right.